us to take part in this day. It's not because we've been so good or we've done everything that you've said to do, but it's because of your grace and mercy that we're here today. And so, Lord, we pray that this segment will be informative, inspiring, and impactful. We ask all of these blessings in the awesome and matchless name of Jesus the Christ. Amen and amen. Listen, let me say right quick, on at 5:30, our Kimberly Relaford Washington, author, certified Christian life coach, founder of Mirror Collective, and host of the Mirror podcast. Kimberly has dedicated her life to helping women heal from life's hurt, discover who God created them to be, and walk boldly in their divine purpose. She's a devoted and devout wife to Superman Timothy Washington Sr. Yeah, a loving mother of four, proud grandmother of four. Oh wow, wow. Uh, and y'all could tell, she's smiling like that because she don't look like that. uh, is an author of a book, a coaching program, podcast, and growing community. She encourages people to look beyond appearance, confront the hidden struggles behind the smile, and embrace the healing power of God. Boy, that's a mouthful itself. Her mission is to simply yet profound to help people remove the mask they wear, face the truth about who they are, and experience the freedom that comes from living authentically in Christ.
Yes.
Today, our guest will discuss about healing. And listen, here's my big one right here, because this is what I deal with on a constant in the circle that I run with: identity crisis. We are in an identity crisis, and it's great to know that we got other people who are helping people find themselves. Purpose, faith, and powerful work being done through Mirror Collective. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited that you're here. I follow you. I see the great things that you're doing. Let's just jump right into the fact, Kimberly. When did you realize God was calling you into a ministry of healing and restoration?
I think that so me knowing exactly that that was my purpose, honestly, it's only me coming into awareness of it. It's been about 2 years.
Wow.
But I've always done the work.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know that was my purpose. I just thought it was something that I liked doing.
Right.
Something that I was passionate about, but I didn't know that that was going to be my life mission, to help others, to go back and kind of be a mirror for the previous version of myself.
Yeah.
So, dealing with rejection and abandonment, shrinking, people pleasing, I didn't know that I was gonna. People will always come to me for advice, even when I was younger, and I just never knew that. I just thought that was something I was good at, but just coming into the awareness that that was my purpose. It's been about 2 years, honestly.
Wow. But you've been like Moses on the backside of the desert, being prepared for this
Yeah.
a lot longer than 2 years.
Yes.
So you recognize your calling 2 years ago.
Yes, 2 years ago.
But the fact is, the Bible says, before I even birthed you,
Yeah.
and before you came forward, I called you
Yes.
for such a time as this.
Yes.
And you're doing it so well.
Well, thank you.
Like, let me ask you this. You went to school for, this?
No.
Mhm.
So my degree is in healthcare administration,
Okay.
but I am a certified Christian life coach.
Right.
However, it's a gift.
Right.
That's I mean, it's a gift. It's innately a gift.
Right.
And in my younger days, I would be amazed sometimes that when people would come to me and the advice that I was able to give, like, well,
Right.
you know,
It doesn't line up. You're like, did I,
yeah,
you know, making sure that what I say lines up with good advice,
Yeah.
you know. And at the end of the day, any therapist, any counselor wants to help
yeah.
their parishioner or their client or whatever the case may be. Was there a defining moment in your life that changed the direction of your purpose?
Yes.
Wow.
And actually, it was a picture that I saw. One day I was scrolling on the internet, and I've seen this picture a million times, but this one time, it just, I don't know, it changed the trajectory of my life. And it was, have you ever seen the picture of the kitten looking in the mirror, but the reflection was a
Wow.
lion?
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
defining moment.
My.
And it kind of was confirmation for me that something was greater emerging. I didn't understand it because I felt like I had been going through so much, but I knew that I was so unhappy with where I was in my life. Like, I knew there was more,
Right.
but I couldn't explain to you what that more was. I just knew that there was something pulling at me that was more. So when I saw that picture that day, it was like you would think that it's something that happened.
Right.
But for me, it was that picture.
Yeah. And that is a, a reach out AT&T moment, I've been talking about, people like for you to dim your light so that they can shine, because they can't stand your shine. They want you to dim yours, turn yours down. And I've been telling young people, and I tell people everywhere now, don't allow people to cause you to dim your light because they can't stand your shine.
Yes.
Open the windows.
Yes.
Let some sunshine in. But I'm not going to turn down for you. Turn down for what? Is that a song or something? Is that a song? Turn down for what?
I did it though.
I know.
I did it.
We all have.
Yeah, I did it.
And why? We when we look back over our lives, we say, why did I do that?
Well,
Just to make somebody else, because they in their feeling, make you feel good.
But for me, it was because, now I didn't identify it then, but for me, it's because I was dealing with the spirit of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know who I was.
That may be it. Yeah.
And wanting to be accepted, wanting to be validated, wanting to be heard and seen and valued. And so my relationships with women was horrible.
Right.
I just was like, they're weird. I don't do women.
Right.
And so it's like every friendship I had starting from middle school, it was like I was always hurt. So it was, when I walk in the room, it's like the room automatically rejected me.
Yeah.
So I went in the room, I shrank.
Right.
I wanted to be more tolerable.
Turn down.
But I learned something. I learned that my small is still somebody else's big.
Come on.
So I don't do that no more.
Yeah.
But I think it's because you want to be accepted. And it was like I was looking for the room or the people in the room to kind of tell me who I was.
Right. And
they couldn't.
And they're not gonna do it.
No, they don't have the capacity or the ability to be able to do it. So when I realized that they're just like me.
Right.
They have questions. They don't know who they are. They're seeking the same thing I'm seeking. So, they just kind of changed the way I looked at the situation. But when I started really changing who I saw
right
in the mirror, like my perspective of me, then I showed up differently in those rooms.
So
So now when I walk in the room,
yeah,
I never go in to take sides. I go to take
right,
over.
right.
And so that's the difference now, you know. But before, oh, absolutely, I would shrink just to fit in.
uh, I was in Hot Springs, saw a young man walk on the stage, and he owned the stage, but you could hear in the audience some of the people were like, oh, he thinks he's better than everybody. Well, God Almighty, my thing is, and I've heard this uh, over and over again, especially when it pertains to some of us. They want us to walk in the room with our heads down. They want us to walk in the room with our shoulders, down. But when you walk in the room with your head up, you're confident and everything, the first thing they call you is cocky and arrogant and thing. But then they say about the other ones, oh, they're so confident, they're so bright, they're so smart, and we buy into that stuff. We buy into it about our people, but we've learned to accept who they are. And when I say they, y'all know what I'm talking about. And so, what personal challenges have helped shape the message you share today?
I would say my life really just always showing up small.
Yeah.
And every time I show up small, I always miss the mark. Because I'm learning that I serve a big God. And if I'm created in his image, that means I'm big too.
Right.
So anytime I try to just kind of minimize what God is doing in my life, I feel like he say, okay, you don't want it bad enough. Because at the beginning I was like, okay, at the beginning of the year, I told God, I said, I was talking to my dad and he said something to me. We were talking about ability and capacity. And I said, well, Lord, that's my prayer. Help me shift my life from ability to capacity.
Oh, wow.
That was my prayer at the beginning of the year. And I realized that everything I did in my life, I was doing from a place of comfort.
Right.
Even exercising, I went and did it, but it wasn't to stretch me. It was just being comfortable. And you can't shift from ability to capacity being comfortable. And so I was just telling God I wanted all these things. I wanted, I wanted to help women, and I want to do it in such a way to where it's, Mirror is global and everybody knows. And, I'm just going down the line, just telling God what I want. And I can imagine God probably was laughing because it's like, you think you want that, but you're so comfortable.
Yeah.
And so the moment that helped shift me was a recent moment. When I got laid off from my job.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I didn't understand it initially, but I understand it now. Because if you want the things that you say you want, then I'm going to have to take comfort away from you.
Yeah.
You walk around this job all the time and you say, well, God is my source. This is just a resource. Well, I'm finna test you on that. I'm finna see if you really who you say you are.
Yeah.
Do you really trust me like you say you do?
Wow.
So taking that security away from me and saying, okay, do you still want these things? Or do you want to stay small and stay over here and be comfortable? So that is helping me.
Yeah.
And you asked me earlier, you asked me about my book. And I said, well, I'm working on my sophomore book, but I'm having to live it out. I'm having to walk this thing out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Lord.
well, people don't understand the difference between the lifting and the stretching.
Yeah.
Listen, most weights are easy to lift, but it's the stretch that I'm talking about. It's the stretch that builds our capacity.
Yeah.
My son would say that, I know you want to lift the weights and things, but you need to stretch.
Yeah.
Because the older you get, the more you need to stretch. because those muscles and things, the elasticity and things, and where God is taking you, it's gonna take a stretch.
Yeah.
Your faith is going to be challenged beyond your bone structure,
Yeah.
even. And so I see it. I see the challenges, that's what I was getting to. Your faith. You wear your faith on your sleeve, and listen. You're quite cognizant of the Word of God, what the Word of God means, because some folks just quote scriptures and don't know what it means. But you're quite cognizant about the Word of God. So tell us, how has faith really carried you through difficult seasons?
Learning to work out my own salvation.
Uh,
Because I don't do church.
yeah.
And what I mean by I don't do church, it's like the rules and the religion is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Not relationship.
Right.
Not kingdom. I'm not
Right,
talking about that.
Right.
But church hurt
Mm-hmm.
will kind of make you seek God or shift you into more of a relationship than just a status of I'm going to church or I want to be a part of a church. So even in the church, I realized that you have to shrink sometimes to be accepted. You can't be too big.
Yeah.
That's
If
not.
if you don't have a title, if you
But that's just my experience.
Yeah.
So it's like now in my walk with Christ, it's like you can't tell me, and I respect you as being a pastor, but you can't tell me, that I should live a certain way.
Right.
If God didn't told me to do it this way, you can't tell me to do it differently if I know I didn't heard God say do it this way.
That's a personal relationship.
Exactly. So that's where I feel like my faith has always come from, my personal relationship with God, instead of following man, instead of following the restraints of church.
Religion is
absolutely. So my faith has caused me to really I think it's the driving force of me wanting even to know God even more.
Right.
Because he's so big and it's so much that I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's my faith just kind of drives me to that relationship with him and saying, okay, God, I want to know more about me. So I got to get to know more about who you are.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about healing and transformation. Get right into it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, the aspirin of religion won't do for you what the surgery of salvation and relationship will. When you know you got a relationship, people will come to you and tell you things like, God said this and God said that. But the real truth of the matter is, I know my daddy's voice better than you know it.
Yeah.
And so I heard what my dad said. I know it was him because we got a cadence. He calls me. We talk and we commune. And then you come and say, well, did God say that? And I'm like, I'm in his presence.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't talking to you. He was talking to me.
Yeah. And it's not an indictment on the church.
No.
It's just that,
really, it's an indictment on us because we figured that the church or worship give us everything we need.
It's been relationship for me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest. It's been relationship because a lot of times I feel like I couldn't go to the people in church.
Come on.
And I feel like, and I'll say this, but I feel like sometimes, most times.
And we're back. She had a thought. She was about to unleash a bomb on us. But what are some of the most common wounds that women carry that often go unaddressed?
Rejection, abandonment, I think trauma as a whole, we'll say trauma,
Mm-hmm.
shrinking, people pleasing, mask.
Right, right,
We wear
right, right,
masks,
right.
and a lot of times we've been wearing them for so long, we don't know we have them on. So until we come into that awareness, it's just like you go through life. And for me, I wore a mask. I did. I wanted to hide because I dealt with shrinking a lot.
Mm, mm,
And the mask, it served its purpose. It hid me.
mm.
But I didn't know it was a mask until it began to suffocate me.
Wow.
So it has a dual purpose.
Mm.
You wear it for too long and it begins to suffocate you. And so it's like, okay, I had to do something. Like it's either, figure out what's going on or I'm not gonna be here too much longer.
Right,
You
right.
know.
Do you have those questions when you hide behind a mask? Who am I?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I look in the mirror and I don't take off the mask. I'm looking in the mirror with the mask on.
Mhm.
And I can't really see me.
No, you're not with a mask on.
Yeah. But not only does women go through that, men go through it, and I think it's worse with men because we got this big ego too.
Yeah.
Big men don't do this, big men don't do that, but we're suffering in silence too. You know, I don't know if anybody know in our radio listening audience right now, Black people are number one in suicide, and I think it's all because of identity and hiding behind the mask.
Yeah.
And then when you take it off, man, sometimes it's stuff that we see that we like, man, I didn't know that was there. But like you said, what you said, you wore it so long.
Yeah. It began to suffocate me.
Wow.
And then when you take the mask off because you don't recognize the person in the mirror, it's like you vacillate between the two ideas. Should I, keep it off and work on me or put it back on because it's easier? When I wrote my book, you would think that'd be a happy time in my life. I just released a book, and I released
Tell me about the book. Right
Okay,
quick.
so I wrote a book called Breaking Free from Me,
Mhm.
and I released that book solely out of obedience. I
Right.
felt like God was saying I needed to write a book.
Mhm.
I wrote a book, and going through some of the memories that I was writing about, I was grateful because I saw how far God had brought me, but at the same time, it's like, wow, the things that I had endured. So once the book released, I felt so vulnerable because now I'm naked.
Right.
I don't have the mask on. I put all my business out there, and I felt
Oh yeah.
I felt like I was at a crossroad. I almost want to run back in hiding, but I'm like, okay, God, you're with me. So we're gonna walk this thing out. Best decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
But I do understand that sometimes when you take that mask off, you realize you didn't heal properly.
Oh wow.
And I always say, like, for my wounds, I realized that some things I had band-aids on, but really required stitches. And so nobody had created a safe space for me to take the mask off. So that's how Mirror Mirror was birthed. I wanted to create a safe space for women to come and take the mask off, find their voice, find their roar, tell their stories, because I felt like I didn't have that to 2 years ago.
Wow.
You know.
You know what? This is like deja vu to me. Like we've had this conversation before, and we never had this conversation. Can one take the mask off if they're in the middle of their pain?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it takes courage.
Yeah.
Of course, with anything, it takes God first, but it also takes you deciding. It takes a decision to say, it's tough, but I'm going to see this thing through. I feel like, for most of us, we say we want different, but nothing changes until we change it.
Right.
So to do the same thing over and over again, expect different results, we all know that that's the definition of insanity.
Right.
So if in the middle of my pain, for me before, it's like, why not walk it out?
Right, right.
Because I'm tired. I looked in the mirror and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like,
Mm.
that's where I was. So it has to be something better on the other side of the point where I've stopped.
Mm.
Like, it has to be better than this version of me who's always showing up, always quitting, stopping, comfortable, shrinking. It has to be like, God, you say you so good and you created me in your image, but yet when I look in the mirror, I see this version. Something has to. It has to be a difference.
Right.
Something has to be different.
Mm.
And so I just said, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going, but you'll never get to the other side of that if you don't do the work.
And the shrinkage, constantly shrinking. You know, you've stretched, and then all of a sudden, the shrinkage come from not constantly understanding that you if you when you get ready to work out, if you don't stretch, that stuff you're gonna feel that pain again.
That's maintenance, though.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, part of that stretching is just kind of so you can,
Right.
you know, work out on another level, but work out without injury.
Right.
You know, work out to build endurance. So to me, that stretching is maintenance.
Right. So it's just a part of
It's just
what
a
has
part
to
of-
happen anyway. Yeah.
And you can't have growth without the stretch.
Mm.
You know, I'm learning because I'm telling y'all, in this season, everything I'm doing now is from an uncomfortable place.
Wow.
And even when I go work out now, if I have anything left, I'm going back in.
Right.
Because
Right.
I want to
right,
leave nothing
right,
on the
right.
table. So I'm learning, you know. And one thing about, I think people think that healing is a one-time thing.
No.
No, it's ongoing. It's always, you're always evolving. And I tell my friends all the time, I say, well, if you've mastered one level, that means you're a novice on the next.
Right.
Like, you still have to always do work. Because it's still going to be, it's so many layers.
So how does forgiveness and healing work together?
I don't think you can have one without the other.
Yeah.
I think people think forgiveness is, you know, for the other person.
Yeah.
No, forgiveness is for you.
Right.
And I feel like when it comes to forgiveness, I kind of said this on social media the other day. You become the person who hurts you when you don't forgive. And
Forgiving me, forgiving those around me, and sometimes it looks like it's a constant thing of finding out, oh wow, I should forgive myself for that.
yeah, giving yourself grace as well. But I also think that we have to learn to forgive quickly and without apology.
Right.
Because we sit around waiting for years, we're stuck waiting on somebody to say, I'm sorry, or just acknowledge our pain, to validate our feelings. And sometimes that doesn't happen.
Right.
And I feel like you give people too much power over your life. You make your life a democracy once you say, okay, I'm not going to forgive. Because that was me. I held on to it by choice.
Right.
And I used to use my emotions as weapons.
Mm.
That's how I built up like a defensive mechanism to where I'm a
Wow.
keep you out. But my dad and I were talking the other day about the same thing, and he was like, "Wow," he said it kept people from getting in, huh? I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah." He said, "But it also kept you from getting out."
Oh wow.
And I was like, "Yeah, you sure? You're
Yeah.
right." So I think that when we learn to forgive quickly and without apology, we're better off because now we have capacity. And I didn't realize that everything God was trying to get to me, I was keeping him out too.
Right.
I ain't have room for it.
Capacity.
And I couldn't manage it because I just didn't have room for it. So now it's like, okay, you know, let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
Or I'm learning now, like when somebody comes to me and they're angry and, you know I didn't do anything, I just let them have it. I don't take ownership of it. And we were kind of talking about trauma. What happens when you have trauma that you didn't cause?
Right.
You know, what do you do with that? Most times it starts as children, but we didn't cause it, but we come into agreement with it. So now
own it.
that
We own
becomes,
something that we didn't even, we didn't buy it. We didn't go get it.
Yeah.
It was brought to us and send it back to the sender, you know.
Absolutely.
Listen, we're going to take another break. But when we come back, let's talk about marriage and family. Yeah. That's another thing. You know, my wife has really helped me in a whole lot of areas, you know, because of her background, but also her background is what she's experienced too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you experience things, I guess, and like you said, I guess the word for the day is capacity. Building capacity, you know. If you want more, you got to stretch.
Yeah.
Because somebody else wants more too.
Yeah.
You know?
And my more may not be the same as your more.
Yeah.
So my stretch is not going to be the same as your stretch. And I think, you know, we always compare ourselves to the next person's struggle instead of just working out our own and walking out in our own lane. So I feel like that's very, very, the stretching is necessary.
Yeah. This first question I'm going to ask you is, all right, we're back, and Miss Kimberly Rutherford Washington is in the house dropping bombs. Not just nuggets, bombs that'll blow your mind. What I've gotten so far is capacity. Listen, if you want more, you got to stretch. It's not just going to come. I'm going to talk about family because I know how important it is when you're in ministry to have that support. So how has your husband supported your calling in ministry?
I think I hit the jackpot when God blessed me with my husband because we're opposites.
Yeah.
He's quiet.
Yeah.
But he's been there, like he allows me to be myself. And when I got laid off from my job, and we were talking about it in the best way I can describe the support. And I said, so what do you want me to do? And he was like, what do you want to do?
Right.
And he was like, well, if I have one request, is I want you to focus on Mirror Mirror.
Yeah.
He said, because I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so that's how he supports. Like, he's never wanted me to be anybody else. I'm talking about through the hard times, through, you know, times I didn't know who I was. It's just like, you know what? I figured you will figure it out. And through it all, it's like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for showing up, even though you may not know how to show up.
Right.
Or you may not be showing up the way you want to show up. But the fact that you showed up, I appreciate that. So yeah, I hit the jackpot.
Yeah. Well,
that
you know,
that one right there.
Mirror is obviously, he sees it's helping people as it helps you as well. You know, what lessons has marriage taught you about grace, communication, and growth?
Ooh. I'm just gonna have to shout out marriage class at Kingdom Life Center because that class saved my marriage, if I can be completely honest. Again, we women, and I'm gonna speak for a woman because I don't know about y'all men, but we take on our roles as our identity.
Right.
So when you ask somebody, well, who are you? I'm a mother, I'm a wife. No, that's your role. That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? So I think for me, I had I took on those same roles and I neglected the woman. So learning how to communicate my needs as a woman and as a wife, you know, that was a game changer because I was always commuting from the role of a mother.
I
was exhausted, you know, I felt resentful, to be honest with you.
Right.
Because I felt like that role had just taken so much. So anytime we came together, it was always about the kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So learning how to go back and really make it about us,
Yeah,
two individuals,
yeah,
you know, man and woman,
Yeah.
husband and wife. So that was a game changer for me. And then I think communicating, learning to come to the table
right.
and whatever it is we're talking about, let the main thing be the main thing, and then everybody getting up from the table feeling like we done won.
Right, right.
So marriage classes taught me that.
I'm gonna tell you something. I thank God for our couples ministry because it taught us a whole lot.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff we've been taught was wrong, you know, about roles.
Yes.
What's our role? Who are you? And then when you put the third, the heritage, which are the children, into it, the mix. Well, I remember when we first had children, I'm like, okay, this ain't working out too good because, you know, you want to spend some quiet time and Junior them, and you like, give them some, what they call that stuff you give them when they go to sleep or whatever.
Some melatonin.
Melatonin stuff. And then look like they wake up on the melatonin. I'm like, shoot, make them go to sleep, you know. But it's a juggling act.
Yeah.
Because you love your children and things like that, but like you said, it can become resentful.
Yeah.
You know, the balancing of the family and ministry. You know, I know for you know, you want to take the children this place and that place, and you want to do family things together. Because my children, and once they get older.
That's what I was just gonna
You know,
say.
they like they don't want to come be with you no way.
They
you know,
want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
And I think so. I'm recently an empty nester.
Okay. Yeah.
And I took a big hit
Yeah.
because I wasn't used to. I was used to running behind the kids.
Right.
Every job.
All of them played sports.
All of them played sports. Every job I've had, I've always traveled to some capacity.
Yeah.
So I'm used to being busy.
Right.
So when my baby graduated, I was terrified because now I gotta sit in this silence. The silence is too loud. So I ran. I even had the audacity to get when I went and got a job, now working a full-time job in the daytime, I went and got a full-time nighttime job.
Another job.
Yes, so I wouldn't have to be at home.
Yeah.
You know, and then my house it was a fearful place for me. It wasn't no longer a place of comfort.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do with the silence.
Wow.
So it was.
And you know, look, you know you're not the only one that deals with that. And, you know, being so transparent, you know, just vulnerable, you know, that's so good for showing your scars that other folks will open up. It's a safe place for other folks to open up. We're going to take another break, but when we come back, let's talk about Mirror Mirror Collective.
Okay.
All right. Yes, indeed. You know, a lot of folks, I guess like with my wife, the same, kids feel, and parents feel like it's easy to open up because she's non-judgmental about it. You know, anything you say, I'm not gonna, and that's why the church though does not get people to be honest when they come forward because they feel like they're being judged.
But so I did a couple women's ministry activities. And then I said, I did the first two at church. I said, so now we're going to meet somewhere.
Right, move.
So we decided to go to karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, oh, I'm glad that we didn't do it at the church. I said, one thing I know is that if I have an event at the church, I'm going to get the safest version of you.
Yeah.
But if I have it outside the church, I'm going to get the most authentic version of you.
Yeah. We be like, you know, we put on our church face in church, you know, but I don't need your church face.
Yeah.
I need you to just be butt bone naked.
But people don't know how.
I know.
That's hard
Yeah.
because if my normalcy is always hiding because
Right.
somebody told me I wasn't good enough, or I was talking to a parent that reached out to me the other day. She wants me to mentor her daughter because I mentor
Mm-hmm.
young girls too, um, and she said that I just wanted to talk. Well, what kind of space are you making it? Are you gonna judge her, tell her to be quiet?
We're back. What has been the most rewarding testimony you received from someone impacted by Mirror Mirror?
Um, I don't know if it's the most rewarding, but it's the inspiration for them to do their work,
Yeah.
the work, work out their own life, to take their own mask off,
Yeah.
to come back and say, well, thank you, for holding it for me while I put it down to go work, or, just for them to just keep coming back. I mean, I think that's the greatest reward, that they continue to come back
means
and
it's helping.
support.
Yeah. It means that I'm identifying. You know. So, and kind of tell the people what Mirror Mirror is really all about.
Mirror Mirror is all about community.
Mm-hmm.
It's about safety,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm big on safe spaces.
Right.
I'm a very private person.
Mm-hmm.
So if I come to you and I tell you something,
Right.
I don't want it repeated.
Right.
I don't want, and maybe I don't know how to hold it. Maybe I don't know what to do with it, is why I'm coming to you. So that's what Mirror Mirror is all about. I just created the space that I needed,
Mm-hmm.
at the time that I was going through what I was going through. And it's just for women to come and feel loved, for them to come unmasked, for them to tell their stories. It's just the authors, like, it's just a place of inspiration.
Right. Uh, I know you were in our school system for a little while, and I'm not sure whether you recognize that you had a lot of people in the school system that needed a safe space.
I did.
We have so many people on so many different types of meds to so that they don't trip out, and some folks may say, well, how are they teaching our children? That's why they dealing with children, they dealing with spouses,
And life.
and trying to deal with their own children, and they're what they say, lifing,
Yeah.
trying to life,
Yeah.
and don't have a safe space.
When I started therapy, I love one thing that really attracted me to my therapist and kind of confirmed I was in the right place is because she had a therapist. And I love that. So that meant she was intentional about herself,
Right.
and her healing.
Yeah.
And I feel like teachers don't get enough appreciation. But let me tell you how I got in that school system. So I used to mentor in Red River Parish.
Mhm.
And I wanted to bring it to Natchitoches. I went to Red River, they embraced me. And I wanted to bring it to Natchitoches, but I felt like I needed to know the community. So I said, I'm going to start subbing at the schools just so I can see what the need is and get a feel for the community. And I told God, but it's one place I'm not going, and that was Natchitoches Junior High. I'm not going there. Don't send me. Send me to Lakeview. It's easy. I know the people up there. Just send me up there. And I never forget, he pulled on my spirit an entire weekend. And we were going back and forth. I said, I'm not going there. So finally, Monday, I got up. I said, okay, God, I'm just going to call. And I feel like I'm going to be done there.
Yeah.
I called. I said, hey, introduced myself. I said, do you need a sub? Her response was, can you come down? And I was like, Jesus. So I got up and went to class. I loved every moment of it. I got ready to leave. And this is answering your question about a safe space. And I know you was talking about teachers, but I'm going to tell you. The little girl said, are you coming back tomorrow? If you come back tomorrow, can you bring me a pregnancy test?
Wow.
13 years old.
Yeah.
So that confirmed to me I
Yeah.
was in the right
Right
place.
place.
I come back the next day, and the principal at the time, she pulls me in her office, and she said, "Hey, I don't know what you've done to these kids, but they love you."
Yeah.
And she offered me the full time position.
Yeah.
I never had been in a classroom setting,
Wow.
and the first thing I told the kids, I said, "Hey, I don't have proper etiquettes or whatever, classroom etiquettes, but I'm gonna be on what you on."
Yeah, yeah.
And from that, I became a mother, a mentor.
Yeah, yeah.
But my classroom was a safe space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I loved every moment
Oh,
of it.
they dump everything on
Yeah.
you. You know, I tell my wife sometimes, sweetheart, listen, keep that at the school. Go calling, saying this, that, and the other. But hey, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
When it comes to what's a woman's what should be an expectation if they join the Mirror community?
Oh, authenticity,
Yeah.
transparency, and just confirmation that they can be themselves. We're gonna push you though.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't come and just stay there. You know, the requirement is growth. There has to be some kind of transformation. But until we get there, because that's a process,
Right.
you can just come be yourself. Come as you are.
Tell us a little bit about the book and
Mm.
podcast.
So, Mirror initially started as a book,
Okay.
Breaking Free from Me. I felt
Okay.
like I had wrote it. You know, I went through the process of writing it, but now I feel like I still had so much to say.
Right.
So that's how the podcast was birthed.
Okay.
You know, I said, well, it has to be other women out here who kind of went through what I went through. And I felt like I needed to give it a voice. I needed to
Right.
release it even more. So I started just talking and inviting people on, and we were talking about some of our struggles and triumphs and challenges, and here we are a year later.
So you built a community, people who can identify with what you've been through, and you
Yeah.
can identify what they've been through. And I think you told me you got a sophomore project coming out.
I do.
Yeah, yeah.
I do.
Is a name for it yet?
It is.
Okay, okay,
Um,
okay. Has it been already said on the podcast?
Not
Not
yet.
yet, not yet. So do we get the first
You get the exclusive.
exclusive? That's what. Yeah.
No, but honestly, okay, let me tell you. So on my birthday, I had an event. It was Mirror Live Experience. And the podcast was, I decided to do it live. It was held at my church. I released a book that same day called Mirror Talk. And it was just the way how we show up and talk to ourselves in the mirror.
Oh wow.
And teaching women how to,
Yeah.
properly talk to themselves.
Yeah.
God told me to unpublish the book. So I did it. I
Mm.
unpublished it. And I didn't know why, but I just was obedient. So when I got laid off, I thought, that same night I began writing. I said, oh, you had another book. And I said, okay, this is the book to release. That was called
Yeah.
Misunderstood.
Okay.
That still wasn't it. So as I'm talking to my dad a couple weeks ago and last week, we started talking about healing. And I got a revelation from him when we were talking about awareness. And as I was laid off from my job, I realized like I was still in survival mode.
Wow.
I wasn't shrinking anymore,
Mhm.
but I adapted.
Hmm.
And I was living in fear.
Yeah.
And all those things are still in survival mode. So my next book is called Breaking Free from Me Again.
Oh wow.
That's the
Yeah.
next book.
Yeah.
Because
So-
healing is ongoing. It's continuous.
So a person can break free
hmm
and then find themselves back in the same position or almost the same.
Well, not
And need to
necessarily
break-
in the same position,
Yeah.
but it just means there's more work to do.
Mm.
There's
Yeah.
more work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how can people tune in to podcasts and become a part of the community?
Okay, so to tune into the podcast used to be on Facebook Live and on not Instagram, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's solely found on Fire TV,
Okay.
Amazon, and Roku
Okay.
on the Soul Experience channel.
Okay. All right.
So all of season 1 is currently there, and we're in the process of shooting season 2.
Yeah.
Today I have something special that's releasing tonight. I'm interviewing an author, and it's an author. So Mir has an author's corner now,
Okay.
where because a lot of times you don't sit down with an author.
Right.
You read
right.
the book, but you don't know the story behind the book.
Right.
So I'm releasing that tonight as well. But Spotify.
Okay.
So we have you can find it.
Yeah.
And some episodes I'm going to upload on my website as well.
Oh wow, that'll
So, yeah.
work. So let's do some rapid fire right quick.
Okay.
What does success mean to you?
Success means to me freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of money, just operating freely in my purpose. That's success to me.
Your favorite scripture that has carried you through some tough times in life?
I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That one and He'll Give You Beauty for Ashes.
Oh my.
Those two.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think your pastor just wrote a book. Huh?
He did.
Yeah.
Well, he has
him.
several, but this last one is.
Soon. If you could speak to your younger self, what would you say?
I answer this question the same way every time. I would tell her that broken crayons still color.
Wow.
That's what I would tell her.
Listen,
That's what I would tell her.
it's been such an easy interview. Listen, whether you know it or not, we've done 32 questions.
Oh, no, I didn't know.
In that amount of time.
No, I didn't know.
Here's the other one. In one sentence, what is the message God has placed on your heart for this season?
Ooh, for this season, in one sentence. Well, I'm going to say for me.
Okay.
So, whatever I ask him for, the answer is on the other side of comfort.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
for me.
I've heard you mention your father several times.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a daddy's girl?
Honestly, the little girl in me has always been a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
The grown woman in me is learning how to allow the little girl in me
Wow.
to be a daddy's girl.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I love my dad. That is the conversations
seems
that
to
we
be
have.
Such smart.
He is. And
A lot of wisdom. Yeah. A lot of wisdom.
Yes.
Now we didn't even talk about this. Your upbringing was not in L.A., Louisiana.
Mm-mm.
It was on the West Coast.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I've been where you were reared in Long Beach.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, guess who else is from Long Beach?
Who?
Snoop Dogg. dog, the dog house. Snoop. Yeah, Snoop is originally from
He
from,
is.
from yeah
He
from
is.
Long Beach.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't see that one coming.
The D-O-double-G. Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
I didn't see that one
Yeah,
coming. I walked right
you didn't
into
know
it.
you didn't know I had some West Coast dog pound in me. So
That was a
so
good one.
so was that culture shock to come from West Coast?
Yes. Let me tell you why. Because not only did I shrink as a person, I allowed my vision to shrink.
Wow.
Because out there, you live your life, everything is, it's a melting pot.
Right.
And moving down here, it's
Yeah.
a smaller town, smaller community.
Everybody in your business
Yeah,
and
it's
everything.
just different. But I
Yeah.
did allow it to shrink my vision.
Yeah.
But I'm back now.
Yeah. So but now did you go to Lakeview?
I did for a few months.
Yeah.
I ended up graduating from Lakeview, but
What's-
we moved down here. I started
That's
school.
good. That's good.
Why is that
That's
good?
good because once a gator, always a gator. You know that.
Yeah.
You became acclimated into the gator, the swamp.
Yeah, I loved it for my kids. I didn't love
Yeah.
it for me.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said that, I only went a few months,
Yeah.
so I didn't get a chance to just embrace the fullness of
Right.
what a small school like that has to offer. as
Who
far
was
as
there
community.
when you got there? Well, who's the principal? Who was the principal? That's just how much engagement
Exactly.
you were.
Exactly. Wow.
Don't
I don't
worry
even want
about
to say the
it.
wrong name.
Listen.
Wow.
She is sharp. She is witty. Normally, people would have to really wait for a while with some of the rapid questions that I asked, but we completed 30-something questions. But anyway, any last word before we go?
I would end it the same way I would end my podcast. The mirror is just not reflective, it's healing. So if you can see yourself, you can free yourself.
Oh, wow.
That's what I always say.
Well, listen, don't forget, y'all, 5:30 today, Walking Wings at Northwestern at the walking track. I'll be there. I don't know how much walking I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna be there because my friend Trey is going to be there. So God bless you all. God keep you. It's my prayer. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed weekend. And you can't do nothing about it. God bless. Yes, indeed. I tell you what, this has been such a easy interview. Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You just must be used to being interviewed.
Never been interviewed.
For real?
I've been on panels before, but I've never been interviewed.
Yeah.